All right, everyone, we've looked at Justice Titan. We've looked at Captain Commander. Today we are taking a look at Storm Chaser from Miniforce Super Cops. Now, this thing is a big car. I mean, it's a big car on its own. It's a large lad. And I picked this up over at AliExpress. It's a very nice vehicle mode. No lights and sounds or anything. It does transform into a giant robot, which unfortunately is where the toy kind of falls apart. It does roll easily. It's a big, heavy thing. All right, transformation. Pull off the insignia at the hood and then reach underneath and flip down these feet. Then, once the feet are folded down, grab the wheel wells and pull them up and away from the rest of the body. It's supposed to pull away nice and easily. It doesn't always, because you see the legs are supposed to disengage from the backpack, which is this entire chunk of the car. All right, so then we can take the hood and flip it around to form some heels. Like that. And then we stand the figure up. Then come to the back and unpeg the shoulders from the back of the vehicle mode. Then this whole rear of the vehicle mode can flip down and fold up. And then we just pose out the shoulders like so and fold them out. And then pose the figure, because that's it. That's the transformation. And here we have Storm Chaser with an entire, quarter of a car hanging off his butt. So when you collapse the double hinge there's this little peg right where my finger is that's supposed to fold up into the light bar. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But either way, it always requires a lot of force, like a disturbing amount of force. And that's the way it's actually supposed to look. Then finally, we take the hood ornament and plug it into the chest like that. And that is the final robot mode. And honestly, it's a little underwhelming. I don't hate it. I like the colors, the gold, the red, the blue, the white. It all works well. And the overall aesthetic of the robot mode works, but he's still got a giant chunk of car hanging off his butt. And then the head sculpt is really good. I actually like that quite a bit. And the posability of the figure is pretty darn good. We've got ratchets in the shoulders, ratchets in there, ratcheted elbows, no fist articulation. The hips are ratcheted, but you got to get the front skirts out of the way. And then, yeah, there's tons of articulation and ratcheting. You can pull off poses, but because of the stupid backpack, he's back heavy. He just is. Now, you might have seen inside, there are these guns that actually peg into the inside, and then the guns peg into the figure's hands. So you can pull off some decent poses with the guns. But the problem I have with the shoulders are they are lacking some posability for him to actually be able to move outward and point out like that. You end up having to do something like this, which just looks weird. As I think I've demonstrated, you can pull off some decent poses. Another thing that irritates me are these little front skirts. They constantly get caught up in the hips, so I just leave them pointing out about like a 30 or 45 degree angle. So just to not, well, there, I just pushed it in, just to get them out of the way. Of all the robots, Justice Titan and City Commander, this one's my least favorite. It's not bad per se, but it is slightly flawed because of the lack of certain posability in the shoulders. And I mean, come on, Transformers suffers from this. The green Corvette from the movies, Crosshairs, suffers from this syndrome of just chunk o' car hanging off the back. I really hate that. Again, I don't hate this figure. I just think it's flawed. And more trouble than it's worth. It wasn't very expensive. I got this off AliExpress, and oh god, I cannot get that gun out of his hand. There, got it out. And you know, it's a lot cheaper than it is on, it's a lot cheaper there than it is on eBay, because I've been noticing eBay's prices have been going bonkers with these Korean figures. So I don't bother buying anything from eBay anymore unless I can only find it on eBay. But yeah, transforming it to and from, oh shoot, I messed that up. I was trying to do this while I was talking and I messed that up because you need to transform the back first before you transform the front. Because if you don't, things have a tendency to get online or just not work. You know, especially if you don't get those arms in. Yeah, it's a very loud transformation too, if you haven't guessed. It's not, as I said, it's not a bad figure. It's just not my favorite. So if you feel like picking it up, follow the link I have down in the description. But if you really want to pick any of these figures up, get Justice Titan or Captain Commander first. Honestly, only get it if you absolutely have to have it.